AJ Franklin.
AJ Franklin.
First thoughts.
It's fine.
Oh,
Fine.
okay.
It's a comeback fight. And I know it's a
Interesting.
comeback. So why would I be critical of someone who's had back-to-back losses, and if you want to be more brutal, 3 of his last 5 fights he's lost? Why would I begrudge someone like that a comeback fight or two?
Yeah.
You know? I think that some people are just too critical. I really do. And I think they think like Joshua is such a big name that, you know, anything other than the big names won't do. But it's like, mate, it's a comeback fight. I understand that. It's not being sold as world title fight. It's not being sold as, you know, the boogeyman of the division and no one wants to fight for. We know what this is.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. It's going to be interesting to see how Joshua looks. You know, he hasn't fought anyone since Usyk since 2020. It's 2023 now.
Yeah.
Just bear that in mind. It's only been Usyk the last 2 years. So let's see how he looks fighting. Someone like Franklin he's okay. You know, he's got a good jab, fast hands, decent right hand. But I think he fades down the stretch. He's easy to hit. Shows a good chin. But I think this is the kind of opponent AJ will look good against.
That's so interesting to hear, because if I say that, obviously I'm going to get absolutely destroyed. Because Ade, you got your AJ hat on, and look, when it was first announced, or when it was first rumoured, only because it's not announced yet, but when it was first rumoured, I was like, I don't want that. I want Otto Volin. I want a big name. I want it to be Dillian White. Like, you know, Eddie spoke about AJ needs a rebuild. I'm like, he doesn't need a rebuild. I was there in Saudi Arabia. Usyk's just a bit better than him. AJ's still very, very good. But you're right. He's lost his last 2 back to back. He's changed trainer now. This will be his 3rd trainer in 18 months.
Yeah.
Which is bad,
good.
which is not good at all. And if you want to go even further, like you said, he's lost 3 of his last 5. So that, for me, is someone that should have a bit of a gimme, if you like. Not
Or 2.
That, yeah, or 2. And by the way, not that Jermaine Franklin's a gimme. He can fight, right? He's a solid pro, but I don't have issues with it. I've noticed people that have issues with it are the same people that have told me AJ's rubbish.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if he's rubbish, he can fight anyone. Why are you upset then? And then you have to look at what other fighters have done in recent times. Andy Ruiz fought, who did he fight again?
He
His comeback fight?
Areola.
Do you know what I mean?
pay-per-view.
There you go. Tyson Fury, after the draw against Wilder, and it's a fight he won, fought Tom Schwartz.
Yeah.
So everyone's had kind of gimme-ish fights. So I don't see why there's a problem with AJ having one. Look, as long as AJ has 3 fights this year, and that's what we've been told he's going to do, I don't mind a fight in that 3 being this.
Yeah.
In the summer, okay, I want Dillian White, Otto Volin, maybe even a bit more than that. And then in December, if we really do get 3 fights, then one of the big boys.
I think it depends on how he looks, though. I mean, we have to bear that in mind. Like, AJ going in with a new trainer against Franklin. Like, if there's a case that AJ looks bad, or maybe he struck, maybe he gets dropped or gets hurt by Franklin.
God.
All I'd say is then is like, plans for the summer, another gimme fight. He needs a lot more work.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting seeing him with Derrick James. I love that hookup, but I don't like what I heard from him saying that he's a free spirit and it could be one trainer this fight, one trainer that fight. It's like, no, mate. That's just, you need a good year and a year and a half to actually really get comfy with a trainer. So if Derrick James, if I see improvements in Joshua, it's a bit like Robert Garcia. You know, I was like, you should stay with Robert Garcia.
Dude, I said this, like,
you look good.
I like that link up. I didn't like the fact that Robert Garcia flew over here, because I remember there was a period where he flew over to train AJ and then had to go back and train Bam.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what's going on here? Bam's in the gym. AJ should be out in Oxnard, California with Bam and the whole crew. And I almost feel like I feel like Derrick James is the one that's forced this through. Like, if you want me to train you, fine, but you need to get to Dallas.
I think that's
because
what he needs.
Jamel's over there,
Yeah.
and at the time, obviously, it looked like Jamel was going to fight Tim Tszyu, but Jamel's over there, and Errol's over there. And Errol's got a fight with Keith Thurman coming up. I'm not doing that transatlantic thing. It ain't happening. So I like the link up. It'll be interesting to see as well, because one thing that people have critiqued AJ about is that he don't pull the trigger as much anymore.
Yeah.
When you look at Errol and Jamel, they pull the trigger all the time.
Yeah, they do.
So it'll be interesting to see if AJ is a bit more aggressive with Jermaine Franklin.
You see, the thing is, a lot of Derrick James fighters, they can be a bit more aggressive, and people like Spence and Charlo, they're happy to, you know, tuck up and maybe kind of ride a bit of a storm to get their shots off. I don't know how AJ's going to work with that, because we've seen him at times when, you know, he's had to really, you've looked at him against Usyk and you've thought, right now, put your foot in the gas.
Yeah.
And he's not done it. And I think that's more mental than it is physical. I don't know how any trainer is going to fix that.
I think the Usyk thing's been blown out of proportion. By the way, I got this from there as well. You know why I got this? Just because, not because it says Usyk Joshua, but, well, partly, but because normally these mic muffs say the broadcaster. So you rarely see a name on the mics.
Yeah.
Normally it says Sky Sports or Matchroom or DAZN. So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I'm taking that. But back to it, I think the Usyk thing is blown out of proportion. I think Usyk's going to show how good he is when he fights Fury. And I think a lot of the people that have given AJ stick are going to be like, whoa, this guy's actually very, very good. And I think AJ's almost given himself a bit too much stick because Usyk's incredible. Usyk's, honestly, I watch him and I'm like, what can't this guy do?
Yeah. He's an all-time great.
He's an all-time great.
Like, you have to put this in context. The cruiserweight division, when he cleaned it out, was probably the strongest, arguably, it's ever been.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he went into a weak division and cleaned it out. Briadis, Gassiev, Dorticos, Hook, Glowacki, and he beat all these. Many of them, with the exception of Briadis, with ease.
Yeah.
And then comes up to heavyweight. Usyk is a tremendous fighter. There's no shame. So someone says, oh, he's not as good as Usyk. So who is? There's very few.
Yeah, what's the problem? And what I like about what Usyk did as well, which I think people need to give more plaudits for, and the reason I say this is because a lot of people give plaudits to Devin Haney, maybe, but he went to someone who already took all the belts. Yeah. Like Usyk literally went and took all the belts one by one.
In their backyards.
In their backyard. It wasn't like he went, okay, Gassiev, you won all the belts, I'm going to beat you and take everything. One by one took all the, and then came over to Manchester and bashed up Bellew.
Literally, Glowacki in Poland, Briadis in Latvia, Gassiev in Russia, and then fought. That's crazy.
Yeah, and if you want to go back a bit further, without a title fight, Michael Hunter in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, he's gone round. So I think, I know AJ was very upset. I think we all saw the breakdown at the end of the fight, but I was like, dude, you shouldn't be that upset. He's so good. He's just a style that for you is too difficult. He's southpaw, he's too fast, and he's too intelligent.
Yeah.
So this rebuild thing, I think we've gone a bit too far, but the record books will say that he needs to rebuild.
It definitely.
Yeah.
And look, I think when is the last time he's really had a kind of gimme fight? It's probably been Eric Molina 6 years ago.
Yeah. When was the last time he's blown someone out? I know people will say Pula, but didn't really blow Pula out. It's Povetkin. Povetkin.
That was a tough fight.
It was, but when we knocked him down and Povetkin was out.
And he went through it.
He went through him. Like, he went through him like bang. And that was
2018
September
4 years ago.
Long
time.
Dude, his next fight's April 2023. So he's not really been that brute force AJ for 5 years. Yeah, and that's why I think the Jermaine Franklin fight's important. Just for his own psyche, like I can still do it. I can blow past people. And he was ringside. I saw him. He was ringside at that Franklin fight. And there's no way AJ is not looking at that and thinking, I'm going to destroy you. Hot knife through butter. And he's got to be confident and he's got to do it. But you scared me there because when you said if AJ gets hit or gets knocked down, dude.
It can happen. I mean, Jermaine Franklin was able to buzz Dylan White, and it happened at the end of the round, very end of the round. God knows what would have happened.
Round nine. End of round 9.
30 seconds extra, God knows what would have happened. So you just, this heavyweight boxing, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Jermaine Franklin, I think the weight is my big issue with him. He's too heavy.
Yeah, it's too heavy.
He used to
for
be
his size,
he's too heavy.
He's
too heavy.
Yeah.
How much faster and how much more mobile he could be if he was just lean. You have a decent fighter there.
Be interesting to see if he, this is Jermaine Franklin, if he still trains up in the Fury camp. That's what he did in the lead up to Dillian White. And psychologically, I think you should do that. You want to get under AJ's skin. There's no better person than to be with Tyson Fury and post all the Instagram stuff. Sparring was amazing. Do all that and see what works.
The John Fury interview saying he's clearly going to beat him.
All that. I feel like he needs all that. I'm happy as well that it's at the O2 Arena. AJ back home.
While. Yeah.
It's been ages.
6 years.
It's been ages. Is that what it's been?
Brazil was the
last one.
Yeah, because when he fought Pula, I think it was in the Wembley Arena.
Wow. So there you go.
So 6 years.
6 years away from it.
Nearly 7.
Pay-per-view, it was always going to be.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I work
but
for the Zone, obviously, but I don't like it. But AJ's a pay-per-view fighter. There are some fighters that, like Canelo's fight, Canelo could fight. It looks like it's going to be John Ryder.
Yeah.
That's going to be pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Some Gervonta Davis fights now pay-per-view. Errol pay-per-view. It's just some fighters are that.
As boxing fans, we have to look at it and say, like, is it pay-per-view worthy? No. But as a promoter, as a businessman, you're going to say, well, are we willing to take a massive loss on a show? No. Yeah. So, look, it is what it is, but look, I'm interested to see AJ back and how he looks and how he's going to look under Derrick James. So, my surprise pay-per-view? No, I probably will buy it myself anyway, just because I want to see it. But yeah, AJ back in the O2.
What I like as well, AJ's obviously gone incognito mode.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not seeing anything. I follow him on social media, and normally he does all the training stuff. He'll put it up on social media. You know where he is. You know what he's doing. Exercises, 0. Like nothing. And look, it might start. I'm hearing there could be a press conference at the Serrano Baumgardner fight card. There could be something there, but we've heard nothing from AJ.
No.
Like he's not even, and now, like, it's funny, we're doing this video. He's not announced Derrick James. No. They've not even announced this fight. Like, we're all making assumptions that this is going to happen, but nothing's been announced. So I don't mind it. I don't mind him staying away from social media, letting his team deal with it.
I think he needs it. I like the fact that assuming he is with Derrick James, which he probably is, he's going to be out of his comfort zone. He's getting out of Sheffield. He's getting out of England. You know, as good at the setup is with Team GB, it's very much a case of AJ's here, a bit like Klitschko was back in the day. You know, it's Klitschko's camp. Everyone comes in, greet him, etc. He's going to be in there with Charlo and Spence.
I'm sorry, undisputed.
They're like going to be like
arguably the number one welterweight on the planet.
Yeah, they'd be like, "What have you done? Look what we've done."
Yeah, honestly, yeah. No, they'll don't get me wrong. Obviously, they'll look up to him, and there's a respect there.
Yeah,
but these are achievers. These are winners. Yeah, and I think it'll be nice for him to have a conversation with Charlo as well, who had to come back from that Tony Harrison defeat.
Yep.
Struggled against Brian Castano. So there's a thing there of, look, dude, look what I had to come through, and look where I am now. So you can do it. So I like that, and I like. They're both warriors, Spence and Charlo, and I hope a bit of that. And look, AJ's a warrior for me still, but people think he's lacking in some parts of his life. I hope wherever he's lacking, they can bring it onto him.
I think they will. I think that camp would be good for him. Frank Martin as well, the up-and-comer as well. He's got a great stable, Derrick James. Yeah. So I think for Joshua, he needs this. It might be uncomfy at first, just being out of the comfort zone in the thick of things, but I just can't see how it's not a good thing. The only thing I don't want is for Joshua to have to fight, look good, and then say, do you know what? I fancy work with Eddie Reynoso next. It's like, no, man, just stay who you are.
Better not do that. Not do that. All right, look, big fight for AJ. We're here in April 1st, live on DAZN at the O2 Arena, pay-per-view as well, but it is what it is. Again, as always, thanks to G-Man for popping down. G-Man's link is in the description. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's doing really good stuff. Just got over 10,000. The next target, and by the way, we're not talking next year. We're talking in the summer. He wants 20. He wants 20,000, so we need you guys to hit that channel up and sub. Really good content. Thank you as always. We'll see you on the next one.